Welcome to another in our series of Real People in Scripture, where we look at the lives of real people who lived in real places at real times. Today I want to look at the life of a woman named Deborah. We read her story in the book of Judges. Now, Deborah was the leader of God's people. She wasn't the leader of the armies, that was Barak's job. But she was the leader of God's people. She was the judge that he had chosen and put in this position of power, and things were happening, and it was time for God's people to take a step of faith. It was time for God's people to seek freedom from the people who were oppressing them. And so Deborah went to Barak, the leader of the armies, and she said, "Look, it's time for you to step up and take the battle against the Lord's enemies." Barak's response was sad in many ways. For me personally, I believe it was sad because Barak said, "Look, if you go with me, I will go, but if you don't go with me, I won't go." The call was for Barak to lead the armies. It was his responsibility to lead the armies. And yet he was willing to put Deborah, the judge, the queen, whatever you want to call her, the leader of God's people, the prophetess, he was willing to put her in danger because he was afraid to go without her. And Deborah's response was, "Okay, I'll go," which to me says a lot about her, some wonderful, great things about her, but it says a lot of positive things, and it doesn't say much positive about Barak. But one of the things that Deborah said was, "I will go with you, but of course, of the course you're taking, the honor will not go to you, but it will go to a woman. God will deliver the enemy into the hands of a woman." Now, if you're thinking it was Deborah, it wasn't. God used somebody else. And just hold on a second, I'll get to that. But my point is, Deborah agreed because she knew the important thing was for God's plan to move forward. It was for Israel to step forward in faith and overcome the enemies that were against them. And so Deborah said, "I'll go with you. I'll put myself in danger. I'm willing so that you will go and do what God needs you to do." And then, as I mentioned, Deborah said the honor will go to a woman. Well, the king, the bad guy, Sisera, ran, and he tried hiding in the tent of someone, and he laid down and was covered with a blanket, and the woman, Jael, took a spike and she drove it through his head. Gross, scary, alarming, I know. But the honor of killing the enemy went to a woman because Barak, who should have done it, wasn't willing. So here's my encouragement to you. Be bold. Step up. If God is calling you to do something, it doesn't matter if you're a young person, if you're a person in the middle of your life, or if you're older and retired. If God is calling you to do something, be willing to step up in faith and do it. God has blessings prepared for you when you are faithful to carry out His plans, when you are faithful to carry out His purposes. Barak, well, he missed out. He missed out on some of the honor that was actually due to him because he wasn't willing. Don't let that ever be said about you. Don't let that ever be said that Marty wasn't willing to step up and do what God wanted him to do, so the honor went to someone else. Be faithful to God's calling on your life. Be bold, be courageous, for the Lord your God is with you. That's all the time we have. Remember, your time is His time, so please use it wisely. God bless.